Hey, what's going on, guys? Grumpy Wolf here. I just thought I'd do a little intro video to my channel. I don't normally do raid content, but it's something I've wanted to try and do. Um, I've been playing this, I think 6 months, just over 6 months. Didn't think I'd like it anywhere near as much as I do, but I'm addicted. I am officially addicted. Um, and I just thought, I've watched so many other content creators do their free-to-play challenges, and even spenders. I just like watching accounts progress, and I thought it would be fun for me to show off basically my account where it is now, where I hopefully will see it in 6 months, um, and just go from there. And hopefully you guys can play along, give me advice. I can help try and give you guys advice because I'm not super knowledgeable on the game, but I just really enjoy playing it. And yeah, I just thought it would be a little fun project for me to do. So what I'm gonna do is just quickly go over my account and just show you guys where I'm up to and different champions, where I'm up to with the dungeons and stuff. And yeah, just go from there. Right, so we're gonna start off by looking at my champions. So Alice is my strongest. She's got the highest power, and she does actually have quite a lot of attack for me anyway. Um, she's one of my favorite champions. I didn't think she'd be anywhere near as good as she is. I don't think a lot of people did with her being a free login champion, because the last one we had was it Skeletor, who, as you can see, I've got no gear on him. I do not use this guy at all. Actually, no, I use him in Care City occasionally if I have to, but he's not the best. He's not bad. He's just not great. But she's fantastic. Obviously, I could do with getting it a bit faster. Everything else is pretty good on it. At the moment, I'm using it in PvP a lot, and even just any content in PvE, she shines through. She's really really good. Um, Obviously, she's not even booked either. I've saw some people say she doesn't need to be booked. I was planning on booking her during the last CVC, but it wasn't personal rewards. So maybe the next CVC I'll do it. But she's so good at like locking out stuff with all the different skills. Um, it's stock. Stock is fantastic. He was my first fusion I ever done on this account. As you can see, he's not super tanky. He's got an okay amount of HP, and his attack and defense is okay. It's all right. It's not an amazing. Not that fast, but a lot of accuracy. A lot more than I need, at least for the content I'm using him in. I don't use him in PvP, but I use him in a lot of PvE content because of his poisons are just so good. This one's amazing. The two 15% continuous heals on every ally for 2 turns. So if you use this, and then usually you'll use the A2 after that, and it activates it. So all the heals, the continuous heals, and all the poisons is placed, and even HP burns. It activates all that, and it ends up doing a ton of damage in one go, and also a ton of healing. And he's so good, so good. He's currently in my clan boss team, I believe. Who I've recently put Mad Hatter in the clan boss team. He's actually got quite a lot of HP. I think he's probably my highest HP champion. Yeah, he's got an okay amount of defense as well. Speed's really good. Well, it depends where you are in the account. I'd say I'm late early game, maybe mid game. And that speed's fine for me. But I know, you know, people have 280 plus speed on all the champions and stuff. His accuracy is great. I wasn't actually gonna do this fusion. I was gonna get the Dawncaller Sabbather. That was the champion that you needed to get four of to fuse Mad Hatter, and I was tempted to just get her or get a couple of them and maybe empower her. And people just said no, don't. Just if you can do the fusion, do it. You won't regret it. He's fantastic on Hydra. Not booked. And as I said, I've recently put him in my clan boss team because he gets a bit of heals out. It's with this one, yeah. Every 10 turns taken by allies, he heals all allies by 20% of their max HP. Also, there's a True Fear, but the True Fear doesn't really affect bosses. But he's really fun in wave-based content because he just screws with people with the hex and stuff. Really good. Sun Wukong was obviously, I got him when it first started the game as the promo code Monkey King. I don't even know if you can actually get him now. Somebody in my clan mentioned that it stopped now. Supreme Gaelic is the new one that you get. Um, Again, I use him in pretty much all content. Not as much in PvE anymore. He's very much a PvP focused champion. He steals buffs, does quite a bit of damage, can cheat people. And this, if you have some Wukong, just get this ability as soon as you can. I think you need to ascend him to level 3, maybe 4, but it's 100% worth it. You don't even need them to be like that strong. He can be squishy, as squishy as you want. He's very slow for me. A lot of these champions, well, I haven't touched since I first got them, really. So I do need to go around and rebuild some of these. I do have Arbiter. Again, I haven't really built it out too much. Mainly defense. And I think she's my fastest champion, and that is slow for an Arbiter. People who have Arbiter usually have well over 300, and they use it purely as a speed lead in arena. I use it in other content, some PvE stuff, but yeah, she's just shining PvP as a speed lead aura. Drexstar you get from, what was it? Was it the Tag Arena? It was one of the stores and you can get like 5 fragments a week or whatever. Oh no, I can't remember actually. Was it 5 fragments or 1? I think was it 1 a day? I don't know. Either way, it takes a while to get them. Didn't he does? I don't use them anywhere near as much as I thought I would. Maybe I just don't have him built right. I haven't really played around with him. He's not even that tanky. A lot of accuracy, but yeah. Kantra, who was one of my first legendary pulls, I think, from a shard. Again, she's meant to be really, really good for like Spider and stuff. Don't really use her. Cheshire Cat, I got super lucky and I pulled him when was it the last? No, the time before when it was 2 times Ancients. I think. I'm sure that's when I got him. He's unbelievable. I couldn't use him as my campaign farmer. I used to use Kale, as most people do when they first start, and I think Kale was getting about 20-second runs. Cheshire Cat, my best is 7 seconds, and it's normally between like 8 and 14 seconds. It's still super fast compared to it. Makes it a lot easier. Obviously, I haven't really min-maxed them. His crit rate is a lot higher than it needs to be. So I can maybe get rid of that and up the crit damage or even speed, because he actually... This is nuts, this attack. It damage based off attack and speed. I'm not too sure what the multipliers are exactly. But you do want attack and speed, basically. But yeah, his A1 is insane. Usually I'll start off with the A3, it's a AoE attack. And when he does that, he actually places a perfect Veil buff and increase attack on himself for 2 turns. So when you do that, and then you go into the A1, if he's under a perfect Veil or a normal Veil, it's an AoE, and this multiplier is insane. It's so good. Yeah, he's one of my favorite champions, and I'm very lucky to pull him. Marta, I do want to play around a bit with some of her stuff because she places counter attack, which is really good. Because I was thinking I could do counter attack, and counter attack uses the champion's default attack, which is the A1. But with Cheshire Cat being so strong, I feel like that could be a nice little combination. And every time he counter attacks, it's going to be an A1, which he's pretty much always under Veil or perfect Veil, always. It's going to be insane. Vogoth, who I was really happy to pull, but I said I've kind of half booked him, but I don't think you need to book him that much. He just gets a lot of heals off, which is really nice. He places the Leech debuff, which is really good for Clan Boss if you don't have someone else like that. Yeah, he's cool, but I don't use him as much as I thought I would. But definitely useful. Anax was one of my first champions I pulled on this account. He's so good. And as you can see, he's lacking in quite a lot of stuff. Speed. I I could get that crit rate up a lot as well. As accuracy's fine, really strong for considering this was like a build near the start. I think I've changed a couple of things, but this is one of the ones that my clan, because I asked about trying to improve my clan boss damage. I'm currently 2 key in Nightmare, but I want to push it to Ultra Nightmare. He's quite squishy, which is annoying, but he does have some survivability things. Where is it? Oh, sorry, it's just passive, yeah. So if the more health he loses, basically he gets a bit of increased attack and increased defense, which is nice. But he is very squishy, but he's very slow. I feel like if I get this to over 200, I can even lower his attack, and then maybe increase his crit damage if I have the pieces. And I don't need as much accuracy. I don't think, not for clan boss anyway. And yeah, hopefully if I get him a lot faster, he ends up doing a lot more damage. Real quick as well, I do want to build, because the issue is I think it's got crit. Yeah, you got crit rate gloves, and obviously you do want to get crit damage gloves ideally, and then get the crit rate in the substats. I struggle with that because I don't have the best gear, but this is probably the best gear I have. I didn't realize how insane it was. So it's the mythical. It's rolled red into crit rate, and then I've got an additional 4 rolls into it, which is insane. So 40 crit rate already. Add that onto whatever, it's 15, 55. So he only needs 45 crit rate from everything else. On a substat, so we should be able to get that, and then I said I can then take this off and put crit damage on, and it'll do a lot more. Stagnite, he's great everywhere. I use him he's even in my PvP team, just purely for this, because it's pretty much a guaranteed chance. Yeah, so the big decreased defense and big decreased attack, I have him set up my nuker, and then usually one hits everybody. I think he's relatively fast. Yeah, he's over 200 speed. That's pretty good. Sia, who is kind of wasted on my account because you need really good gear and you need really good champions. Like I think Mausoleum Mage is one of the main ones. Because what she does is she removes all buffs from allies and enemies, and then that is basically what deals the damage. She's one of the best, or if not the best, wave clearer in dungeons. But as you can see, she's nowhere near where she needs to be on my account, just because I don't have the gear or champions to boost her. Geomancer, who I got, when did I get him actually? Is relatively recently. But obviously he's rated as one of the best epics in this game. He's so good. It's because of his HP burn. Yeah, good accuracy. His speed could be a bit better, but at the moment he's fine for where I'm using him. Yeah, really good champion. Seeker, who is actually been probably one of the biggest game changers on my account. And see his speed now is 234, which is really fast for my account. I only recently built this back up a couple of weeks ago. He was, I think, about 150 speed at most. And just by upping his speed to over 230, my damage in everywhere I use him is just gone so much better. Basically because of this Tailwind. So it fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%, which is pretty good. And it also places a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. And when he does that, he grants an extra turn. So it's on a 3-turn cooldown, but because he gets an extra turn, it's basically a 2-turn cooldown. And it's increased attack for 2 turns. So you do that, go into this, which he's not like a main damage dealer, but he's pretty good, and he can also place provoke. And he does have some heals and stuff. But because of how fast he is, and the fact that it's on the increased attack buffs on all allies for 2 turns, and it's essentially a 2-turn cooldown, you just constantly have increased attack, and it's 50% extra, which is crazy. So I think with my clan boss team, I went from doing, anywhere between 17 to 20 million damage, and now I do like 25 million just because of the speed. So good. Tyrell, a lot of people don't rate him anymore. They think he's really dated. I still use him in a bunch of content because for me he's fantastic. Really, really, really good. He actually smacks quite hard as well. He is defense damage based, and he's got quite a bit of defense on him. Um, so I haven't really built this out. I can probably, min max him a little bit and stuff. But yeah, he's solid for me. Dark Elhane, not too fussed. She was login champion. Obviously, Kale. Don't really use Kale anymore anywhere. Obviously, he used to be my campaign farmer. I used to use him in Clan Boss. I think the only time I use him now is probably Care City, if I have to. Um, got a bunch of other good ones. That Standard Apothecary, Frozen Banshee. Don't really use her. Loki, who is really, really good. I know a lot of people don't like him or they don't rate him that much anymore. For some reason, I've just never got him to level 60. I don't really think I have the need because he's just so good anyway. It's very similar to Mad Hatter, where he does a bunch of stuff to mess with the enemies. He's really fun to use. Mordecai, I got him when I was actually trying to progress Spider, which was really, really good. But he's quite squishy, he dies quite fast for me. As you can see, he's not very tanky. Wreck the Draft, I think I got a week or two ago. She is one that I'm probably planning on going and trying to get to level 60. Anyone else? That's amazing. A Law, fantastic on Fire Knight. Just purely for this ability. You don't even need any books on it. Attacks 3 times at random. Obviously, if you're targeting the Fire Knight, it hits him 3 times. As long as you got the 100% crit rate, and it doesn't like resist or anything. He loses 75% of his turn meter every time she gets a turn. She's she's not a slouch, but she's not super fast. Obviously, she got the crit rate up there over 100, so it's fine. Cold Heart. I do actually have 2 Cold Hearts. I need to get this to 60, and I'm probably going to get the second one to 50, and then throw both of those into a Spider team. And yeah, that should help a lot. Obviously, Armiger, Syl, Inquisitor Shamel. He's very bad for me. Well, he's not bad. He's just obviously squishy. He's one I think would shine when I get to level 6. You get him to 6 stars. He's unbelievably important in Hydra, but obviously I just threw like any pieces of gear on him. I didn't really build him out properly, so that's another one I need to build out. Haikatoon, never use Haikatoon. I should do really. She's good everywhere. Jareg, Skull Crown, Husk. I need to get to level 60. He's really good for one of the Hydra heads, the one that you need to place provoke on. Saito, I think, was my first or second legendary pull. I got these 2 during one of the last sacred. Joe, you get an extra champion if you get a legendary. And I think that's pretty much all the ones that I use regularly. There's probably a lot of like ones that are really good. Like, I mean, I love the aesthetic of Hatatsu. He looks really cool. It looks like something from Stranger Things, you know. And Shadowkin, I actually lacking quite a bit in Shadowkin. Faction Wars, it's probably the worst one I have. I just don't have any good Shadowkins, or not that many. So yeah, I might build Hatatsu out, and I think that's pretty much all I need to show them champions. So the dungeons, right? Dungeons. I do need to do these today, actually. So I'm not too fussed about these at the moment because I just don't think I have the champions to go all the way down to 15. I do it every now and then. I should do it all the time, to be honest, but I don't. I think all of these keeps, I am at the last stage. Yeah, perfect. Really easy, actually. As they're supposed to be, they are like the intro dungeons. So they're fine. Minotaur, 15. Yeah, under a minute. Really, really good. Ice Golem. I think a lot of these are stopped at 20 because that was what you needed for the Arbiter missions. So yeah, a lot of them I've just done to 20. Probably could progress a little bit more, but I just haven't bothered basically. Spiders then, which is my It's not my least favorite. It's just the worst one for me. Um, who did I use last time? Yeah, I think it was this team. It was under a minute, which is really good. But I know forget Cold Heart to 6 star, and then get the other Cold Heart to at least level 50. That should be really easy. I don't know. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna grind stage 30 for the fusion when there's a spider event. I know 10's busted still, and you get like you get a crazy amount of 5 star gear. So in terms of energy, it's really really good. So I might just do that because it's quick, it's easy, it's safe. Not spider, sorry, dragon. Um, Started going on hard mode. I do have some missions for I can't remember if it's Marius or Romantu. Um, but one of them I need to do at least stage one dragon hard 20 times. I'm actually saving that challenge for when we have the dragon tournament for the fusion. Just because it's more efficient for energy. Rather than me do 20 stages at 20 energy a piece. Like I know I've got a ton, but rather than doing that, I may as well do like two birds with one stone. So that's where I'm up to with that. Fire Knight again went to 20. That's one of the safest dungeons, I think. Just as I mentioned, a law really really good. Who else was I using? Seer was purely for the waves. I've probably got better wave clears at the moment. Um, Tyrell does have a good 10 meter reduction, but because I haven't changed this in a while, I think I've got better champions. I can maybe change that team around a little bit, make it a lot faster. Yeah, and then these I never do these. The only time I ever do Sand Devil is purely for the prism shards or the prism crystals, whatever they're called. And honestly, I just farm I think stage 4 because it's rather than farming a higher stage and potentially dying because I haven't really built a team properly for this. I just throw a bunch of damage dealers in. I basically end up getting more points on stage 4. Phantom Shogun is my least run dungeon ever. It's not that difficult, I don't think, but yeah, I will eventually have to go into that. But yeah, hope so. Basically, I want to try and get to hard mode on all the dungeons that I can, because that's obviously where you get more mythical gear, and yeah, it's just gonna be a lot better once I get there. Sorry if you can hear my cat. So that's my. Hello. He's ran away. Never mind. The cat ran. So yeah, that's my goal. Clan boss, right? Let's have a look at clan boss. I actually got to do two of the keys. Name. Yeah, let's try this. So basically, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm trying out this team. This is the new team that I was recommended. I only changed a couple of champions around. I'm not sure how well it's going to do with this affinity because the last couple of times I tried it, it was Spirit affinity, and it was doing about 25 to 27 mil per key, which is okay. As long as I can comfortably 2k it for now, that's fine. I will fast forward to the end and let you know how I get on. Okay, so we're back on Annex has just died, which is one of the reasons why I need to get him a lot faster, basically. I don't think putting more defense is going to be the goal. I just don't feel like he's ever going to be good at surviving, you know. But if I get more speed on him, he'll get more attacks, which will hopefully get more heals off because one of his abilities does heal. And yeah, I said I'm not really looking to last. I mean, 18 turns is abysmal, but I just try and brute force at the moment. Just get as much damage as I can, as quick as I can, and hopefully that pays off. Now, we're not going to do anywhere near as much damage as I was hoping, as we did on the Spirit Affinity. But that's fine. Anywhere over 20 million is okay for 2 and Nightmare. I'll come back at the end, and yeah, we'll talk about that then. Okay, so it looks like this is it. This is Rand's course. It's just under 24 million is not the worst, but I think, yeah, see, Annex normally does double that damage easily. So I feel, obviously, he died quite early on, like wave 16 or something. because of how squishy he is. It's to be expected, and yeah. I do like the addition of Mad Hatter in this team, though. Geo obviously shines in Clan Boss when they're doing a lot of damage, because he just reflects a bunch of it back. I will do another key, but I won't do it now. I don't want to bore you guys. Anyway, yeah, that's Clan Boss. The other ones, I'm not really. I mean, yes, I've managed the one key normal, which is great, but I can't even like two key hard. I just don't really feel I have the champions for it. This is what I was like just messing with. They're not built out right, and yeah, so that's something I do need to work on. Chimera, I think I one keyed normal and hard. Somehow I done more damage on hard. Don't ask how, but I did. And if one key both of those, that's great. Where else are we up to? Arena, not much to talk about. Just the usual, stay in 5, look for the one-man teams. Live Arena, I absolutely loathe. I hate it. I just feel like everyone who I come up against has got just much better champions, and obviously they're built better. That's a me issue. That's me being lazy and not like, dedicating time. Tag team arena is probably the worst. It's just so hard to progress in it. I feel like, what am I doing? Missions, yeah. So obviously the arbiter missions, you need to do classic arena. So that was fine. Romantu is Romantu tag team arena, I think, and then Marius is to do with live arena. But Marius is the one that I really want to go for. Obviously, it's gonna take a while to get him, but yeah. So I do need to definitely build out better champions for live arena, so I can hopefully get Marius as soon as I can. So hold my shard counts. I actually had about 3,000 mystery shards, but I think during one of the last champion training, I was getting really lazy. I didn't want to use any energy, so I was just summoning a bunch of mystery shards and then just throwing all those champions as food into other champions. So I went down a lot, but once the next champ training tournament comes around, I'll be farming campaign and I'll just end up getting like 2,500 easily. They're always good to have, just on the off chance that you need extra. Like for instance, you can substitute one sacred shard for 500 mystery shards. In I think it's Summon Rush. Because Summon Rush is to do with the type of shard you open. Where so that one. So you can. It's always good to have them on hand just in case. A lot of ancient shards because I just haven't been opening them since I think. I don't think I opened them during the last 2 times ancients. I think it was the time before that, which was in December. Voids. I definitely need more voids. I see people who have got like 50 every time that there's a 2 times event. Primals. I did summon. I think I have 4. Obviously, with the 2 time event, try my luck and get any mythicals. Got 3 rares and an epic, and the epic was arse. 6 sacred, so I've got enough for the fusion. And most of those have actually came through Clan Boss, the Clan Boss chest, and that's another reason why I want to get to Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. You just get so much more chances to get sacred shards. Now, we do have the fusion coming up as well. Let me move me out the way. Thank you. I'm definitely 100% going to go for this fusion, and I think anybody who has the resources to do it should definitely do it. Even if you're not really into PvP, it'll benefit you because he's really good at wave content as well. And obviously, if you're doing any Arbiter missions, Romantu, Marius, you will need to dip into all 3 of the arenas. So I think having a champion like this is just going to be so beneficial for everybody. Not so much for his A1. His A1's good, but that's not the main thing. He's similar to like Loki and Mad Hatter. He just messes with the enemy team. And especially when he's fully booked, it's going to be so strong, so strong. The petrification. So he places it for 1 turn, and it has a 75% chance of placing a True Fear debuff for 2 turns on all enemies who are not under Fear or True Fear. But whenever an enemy who is under Fear or True Fear gets a turn, he just activates that whole thing again. So he's just constantly going to be putting people under true fear, which is crazy. So obviously, like, attacks all enemies. And when these are fully booked, there's about 100% chances. So he'll decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns, which is insane. Most buffs don't last longer than 3 turns. And the only one that will give you trouble will be Stone Skin, because it's still a 50 basically 50-50 chance of it coming off. And then 70 for that, well, 100% chance of increasing the cooldown of all enemy skills by 3 turns. That's crazy. And also, if there's no buffs on the enemy team, get an extra turn. Um, that's actually like crazy. That's just unbelievably good. So yeah, if you have the resources for this, even if it's a little bit of a struggle and you think you might not be able to do it, I think just try your best, because you're gonna change your account. I know he'll change mine. Said he's not just a PvP champion; he's wave based content as well. Gonna be really good. Obviously, not really useful against bosses because you can't really fear or true fear them. Um, but yeah, so good. And also, he can't be stunned, frozen, can't get put to sleep, provoked, fear, true fear, or petrification, because he removes it instantly. That's just, he's so good. Go for him. Um, Obviously for the fusion, I've got what, 11,000 energy. Let me just take this way. Here we go. So I've got over 11,000 energy. I've just been saving this up, just because why not? I've also got a crap ton of shards, not shards, sorry, gems. I usually you'd save this for energy, or sometimes even I've bought these a few times, um, but I don't think I'm going to need to use any gems. Maybe I will for a bit of energy. I don't know. Depends how efficient I'm being. And I've got a few energy pots in the inbox as well, which is great. So I'm more than covered for this fusion. 100% going to be doing it. Um, what I'll do is I will post little updates every couple of days about the fusion, about how I've been getting on with it, what I've struggled with, what teams have been running the dungeons for it, and yeah, just to sort of show the progress. As I said, I've kind of wanted to make raid content for a little bit, just because I think it's a fun little idea, little project. Hopefully I'll learn a lot more about the game. Hopefully I can teach you guys some stuff. Hopefully you guys can teach me stuff. Probably will. But yeah, that's my account. So thank you so much. Yeah, that's it.